Hello my YouTube friends! A lot of people are choosing to game stream in vertical these days because you can pick up a lot more audience members. And the problem is most of them end up looking a lot like this, which as you can see doesn't have your full information on it. There's no other displays to show you what weapon you have or anything like this. So today I'm going to show you how to turn this into this, which has all of your other displays. Now it's really easy to do and it's totally free and it's going to take your gaming live stream to the next level. So why wouldn't you want to do it? You don't want to look just like everyone else. You want your stream to stand out and look great, and it only takes a few minutes of effort to do that. So we've got a little bit to get into today. Really easy though, don't worry. Let's get to it! There is a link down below in the description to everything that I'm talking about today. It's totally free. There are a couple of plugins that you may or may not decide that you need. However, if you're trying to put together the best live stream that you can, you're probably going to want them because they definitely add a lot to your live stream. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we're striving to do? Put on the best stream that we can. That's what this channel is all about. Making you a better live streamer. First, let me show you how we're going to create the masks that are going to allow us to move elements around in our scene. Here in Pixlr, we're going to go ahead and just pick our editor, and we're going to go ahead and just drag our image on here. And there we go. And so what we're looking for is the location of our UI, which is this area here and this area here. It could be anywhere. It depends what game you're playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and create a shape. We're not going to get too complicated with this. You could draw around it to create the shape. We're going to go ahead and create this shape right here. We want our fill to be white and not black. So I'm going to go ahead and change this fill color to white. And there we go. And we're going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to select the circle. And I want to include these little exterior things. So I'm going to go like this. If we hold the shift key, we could create a perfect circle. And then what I'm going to do is just kind of move it up over this. And there we go. And we can turn it on and off just to see that we're kind of centered up on our shape. Don't know why it changed that shape layer, but we'll change it back. There we go. So then all we want to do is go ahead and unlock the background, remove it, and we're going to go into our file. We're going to export, and we can export image as a PNG. And what we're going to do is we're just going to call this mask. And there we go. Now what I like to also do once I save it out in white is save it out in another color, an unusual color, so that quite possibly you won't run into any issues where there's a lot of the same color, and that just kind of negatively affects the mask. So we're going to go ahead and save it in red as well. I'm just going to select both of these. I'm going to change the fill color to red, and then we're going to go and we're going to save it as the PNG again, and we're just going to call this alternate. And that's just because you never know. You just want to be sure you're creating a mask that's going to work properly. I try really hard to make content that I think you're going to enjoy. And sometimes I hit and sometimes I miss, but it's really hard to know for sure. And that's where you can really help me out. If you're enjoying this video, do me a favor and leave me a thumbs up. And if it's not your cup of tea, don't hesitate to give it a thumbs down. If everyone watching this video right now gives it a thumbs up or a thumbs down, I'll know for sure whether this is the kind of content that you want to see going forward. So thumbs up, thumbs down. Let's get back to the video. Now let me show you how to set it all up in OBS. So here we have our vertical layout all situated. We've got our main camera obviously in the horizontal. And then here's our vertical camera, our vertical scenes, our vertical sources. Down here we have our vertical transition right here. So we have just our basic scene, and we have just our basic scene. And we've linked these by right-clicking and going to linked scenes and connecting it with this one, which is called scene as well. So let's go ahead and make a game scene. And we're just going to click the plus. We'll call it game and click OK. We're going to do the same thing over here. We're going to click the plus. We'll call this game vert. Click OK. And so now we've got identical scenes in here. We're going to go ahead and click the plus, and we're going to add a source clone. And this source clone is going to be our camera. We'll click OK, and we'll select our original camera as the source right there. And I know you've got questions as to why I'm using source clone, which is a plugin. We want to make sure our audio is selected. Now the reason why I like to do this is because I don't want this whole thing to be in my scene, since the scene is going to be about gaming. So I'm going to take this source clone, I'm going to right click, I'm going to go into filters, and I'm going to remove the background. There's a bunch of different ways to do this, but I'm just going to use the NVIDIA background removal tool, remove the background, and now I just have my camera. And you know, that's why I'm using the source clone, because we can go back to this scene and we still have all of our background. If we didn't use the source clone and we just changed this original camera, we would not be able to remove the background. So that's why I did it. We're going to change to our game vertical scene, and we're going to go ahead and click on sources there as well, and I'm going to use the same thing. We're going to go to our source clone, and we're going to use that camera. And you can see it comes in with the background already removed. We could shrink it down, do whatever. It also doesn't add a second microphone, so we just have that one microphone. Now let's go ahead and add our game. I'll just click the plus, and we're going to call this game scene, and click OK. Now in our game scene, we're going to add our game source, so we're going to click the plus, and I'm going to go and add it as a game capture, and I'm just going to click OK, and there we go. We can capture any full screen application, and everything else should be okay. If I click OK and then I click the game, you're going to see it'll come up in the background. So now I'm going to go ahead and stretch this out so it fills the screen, and I'm going to move it below my camera. Now we're going to add it to our vertical scene, so we'll go over here into sources. We're going to click the plus. We're going to go to game capture, and we're going to select our game capture. And there we go. So now we have our full game capture. I'm going to stretch it all the way, then I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to transform, and I'm just going to center it. And that's going to show the center of the thing. And now when I move around or whatever I do, we're going to automatically see the center of the screen. Now we can use the masks that we just created to add our elements into our scene. So here's what we're going to do over here in our vert scene. First, I'm going to move the game capture below our camera. So our camera is right there. And I'm just going to move this over. Now what I'm going to do is click the plus right here, and I'm going to go and do another source clone, because we don't want to affect the original source. So we want to do a source clone, and we want to clone our game scene, our game capture. So we're going to go here, we're going to go to source clone, and we're going to add a new one, and we're going to select our game capture. And we don't need to add the audio because there isn't any yet. We're going to add the audio in a second. We'll click OK, and there we go. And so now we have another game capture right here. What we need to do to the source clone game capture. And now what we're going to do with that is we're going to right click, and we're going to go to filters. And we're just going to add a filter right here. And we want this filter to be the image mask blend. We're going to click OK. And now we can select our path. And we're going to use the alternate mask. That's the one we did with the red. The reason why we're going to do that is because you can see in this scene, there's a lot of other things that are white. And so if I selected our mask that's white, you could see we still see way too much there. So if we go and we select our alternate mask with the red, boom, we just see the stuff we want to see. So we're going to select the alpha mask, alpha channel right there. And now you can see this stuff looks great. So we're going to go ahead and click close. And now we can move this down here. And you'll see if I select the game, now that'll move along with the game. And so now we want to go ahead and click the plus again, and we're going to go to source clone, and we're going to clone this one again right there, and this time we're going to use this little segment here with our weapon, and we can just place it up here. And now we have our weapon and this, and you can make as many of these little masks as you want for the different elements that are in the scene that you want your audience to be able to see. And now we're all set. The only thing that we don't have is our game audio. So let's go ahead and create that. So to do that, we're going to come over here to our sources. We're going to click the plus, and I'm going to go to Audio Application Capture, and we'll call this Game Audio, and we're going to click OK. And it already has it there, Windows, Starfield, we're good. And so it adds game audio right here. And then when I go up and I click on the game, you can see that the game audio is playing. Now you don't have to add it over here in the vert scenes because it's automatically added into your audio mixer. It's going to be there. The only other thing that I like to do in this case is go down here and set our transitions and move, which is another plugin. The move transition is pretty awesome, so I'm going to select that, and then I want to go up here and connect our game vert scene with our game horizontal scene. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to scenes, and we're going to select the game scene. And now when we switch over here, it's going to automatically switch scenes, and you can see there's a nifty little animation that happens because of the move transition. Now you can also see that every time we do this, the game scene disappears, and that's because I don't have it selected. And I hate how that works. It's exactly why I don't like to use game capture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove this game capture right here, and instead I'm going to use a display capture. So I'm going to click the plus, and I'm going to go to display capture, and we'll call this game display, and click OK. And then I just need to select the game display right here, click OK, stretch it out so it fills the screen. Because I am using a smaller screen than what this calls for, we'll bring it down below, and there we go. So now over here we're going to have the same problem. So you're going to see if I go back to this scene and I mess around over in this area and I come back to the game, well, this will be here because it is, but this one will not be here because it's still on game capture. So I'm going to go ahead and delete the game capture right here, and I'm going to click the plus, and we're going to go to our display capture, and we're going to select our game display. We're going to embiggen it, we're going to right click, and we're going to transform, and we're going to center our transform. Then what we're going to do is I'm going to remove these clone masks. Alright, so now that we have it all set up right here and proper so it's not disappearing, we want to add back in our filters over here. So what we're going to do is click the plus, and we're going to go to source clone, and we want a new source clone, and for our source clone we're going to select our game display. We're going to click OK. And now we want to go into the source clone right here, right click, go into filters, and we want to add our mask. So we're going to go to our mask blend, click OK. We're going to browse and select our alternate mask right here, and we just want to drop this down and select the alpha channel so it's nice and bright. Click OK, and now we can resize these again. Put that right there, and then what I'm going to do is click the plus. We're going to go to source clone once again, and we're going to select the same source clone, and we'll just drag it down here and make it the size we want it. And now we don't have to worry about our background disappearing every time we click off of the game. And we still have our game audio, so if we click on the game, we can do whatever we want to do, and we still have our overlay, and we still have our game scene. Everything works great. And we've got our transitions. When we click down here, switches from one transition to the other. Everything's working perfectly. Now it is pretty easy. I want to stress again, I showed you the bare minimum of how you can set this up really quickly. I highly recommend that you take the time to cut around all of your stuff and place it properly so it looks good. Don't just do the bare minimum. That's what I do so that I can put these tutorials together in a reasonable period of time. But this is your live stream that you're going to be streaming on for a long time. So take the time, make it right, make it look good, and your live stream will stand out from everyone else's. Now, are there other things about game vertical live streaming you want to know about? Let me know down below in the comments and maybe I'll make a video about it. And if you're not super familiar with how vertical works and how to set it up, well, I've got a video on that too. You can check it out right here. And if you're always looking for tools, tips, and tricks to help make you a better live streamer or YouTuber, subscribe to the channel. My name is Michael Feyrer Jr. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.